So why is the mystery aisle in discounters so tempting, and how can we avoid impulse buying this way? So these special buy aisles are advertised as when it's gone, it's gone. Now the one-time offer means you're likely to pick things up without really mulling the decision or doing a price comparison. But if you need something because you saw it today on sale rather than because you needed it last week or the week before that, there's a good chance that we don't really need it. So fear of missing out is one aspect. It's also about sort of being held hostage, not having the time or the prior knowledge to shop around. This all means you're likely to buy something in the middle aisles and pay more than you need to because you haven't gone through a full decision-making process. Now, marketing expert Dr. Fiona Spotswood told the show Super Shoppers that besides FOMO, we buy this stuff even if we're only going to use it once, precisely because the novelty aspect is so enticing. So the items are often quite left field, so that regardless of you not having had time to research the decision, you also just have zero frame of reference to begin with. Do you know what's a reasonable price for a ukulele, for instance? And somebody might pick that up and be like, oh wow, a ukulele, where would I don't know where you'd even go to get a ukulele, but there's one right here. I guess I'll buy it because I might not see a ukulele this easily ever again. But it's if you don't know whether it's actually easy to buy that thing or where else sells them and how much they sell them for, you're sort of being lured by the novelty, but there's just no frame of reference there so that you can't make an adequate financial decision. This works completely in opposition to a lot of businesses who research what customers want to make sure something is going to sell, because if all businesses relied on novelty value all the time, they'd probably be in trouble. So one exception to that would be Lush, who come with, they're a higher end shop, right? A lot of the stuff comes with a hefty price tag by a lot of people's standards. They say they do their market research by putting out what they want to put out, seeing what sells, and so bizarrely they actually have something in common with the discounters because they're just relying on novelty to get a sale. But Lush will then use that to inform their next experiment and decide whether to keep making something, whereas places like Lidl and Aldi are using that novelty just to make you impulse buy on the day. I mean, I'm sure some of the items aren't so random to them based on what people have bought before in the middle aisle. So I'm sure they do use their data, try to find some similar gadgets. Perhaps if you buy a ukulele one week, they'll sell you another musical instrument the next. I don't even go in the middle aisle. I think it's the only way to avoid this problem. It's not on the list. If it's not on your list, you probably don't need it. And you can still see some of what's being sold in your peripheral vision though, can't you? And I saw Joe Wick's book selling for £4, which is definitely a bargain because I have done a comparison on that in the past. And his Veggie Lean in 15 book is actually really good in my opinion. It's the first cookbook that I bought for years, precisely because I used to get so disappointed with buying recipe books and then realizing that I wasn't going to make the majority of the recipes. They just, they were impractical or whatever. I've made most of his book. I liked all of it too. I might put more about that on the blog or do something for YouTube eventually. There you go. That's my stunning wisdom. Avoid the middle aisle. Buy a cookbook instead. That's not what I intended to impart, but here we are. Whether it's your first time today or not, what you want to hear more of. Possibly you want to hear more of me stringing a sentence together.